2, 1. Let's go.
We are on back again with another exciting episode, interesting and very informative episode of the App Files. Once again, I'm joined by none other than Daniel of Arius and the Nation. And what else? Warlord
And
Nation,
yeah, all the nations, pretty much areas of the
everything.
nations. Nations, no relation nations. Talking about the First Nations, guys. Today, I found something.
Yeah. Speaking of the First Nation, applause, please,
Oh,
everybody.
it
Yeah,
says so on the note card.
yeah.
Yes. So, do you know anything about the red-haired giants of Nevada? Have you heard about
Sounds
it?
interesting. No, why don't you tell me about it?
Well, they I stumbled upon this like rabbit hole, right? Just searching for
Mm-hmm.
local myths and legends and stuff, and came across this. There were there are there were rumored to be red-haired giants in the desert. Now, upon further investigation, right, the giants were a northern Paiute like legend. The Paiutes were
Mm-hmm.
the nomadic tribe in Arizona that basically waged war against these giants, these massive humans that were claimed to be cannibalistic. So they would hunt the Paiutes, and the Paiutes would basically fight them off or hide.
So
Okay,
basically, so are they saying that these giants would now these giants? I'm assuming were what? How tall do they say they were?
so
Because I mean, I think of
okay,
giant, I think of like what,
10,
10 foot,
10
12 foot.
foot, like 10 foot,
Okay,
like
so these
pretty massive.
right. I mean, yeah, when your average height and a 10 foot person is standing in front of
Well,
you wanting to eat you, it's kind of intimidating, you
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah. I would
So
just if they were like a healthy 10 foot, you know, like
mhm,
think about this. Think about NFL players. They're like 6 foot, and look how big a linebacker can get or a lineman can get. That's a
mhm,
massive
mhm.
human.
So another question is, and I don't know if you know this, but are the giants going after the Paiute as food? Is that their food? Like a
Yes,
lion would go after
and
a fucking antelope
yeah,
because
I
that's his
feel like
food.
it's like yes and no, because if you think about where they were living, like I'm
Hmm.
pretty sure game was scarce,
So
right?
it was their food.
And
The most
I'm
dangerous game is the man,
yeah, I
right?
remember that. That was from like the past, right? John Leguizamo, um, Feather on the Roof extension, branch off.
It
One
was
of
part
his
of Fiddler. Like a
one of his
spin-off
best
series, wasn't it?
one of his best movies, The Past. Make sure you watch it. Um, it's the shittiest movie ever. But dude, anyway, yeah, don't go watch The Past at all. That's a ridiculous movie.
You're
So
gonna be slightly disappointed.
yeah, we slightly.
Why am I watching
We
this?
do not refund hours of life here. We do not. We
Yeah,
do not.
sorry. It's like
Um,
once you buy it, that's it. It's on you.
yeah, it's on you, man. You so yeah, definitely avoid that one. Um,
Right.
but anyway, so these red hair giants, right? Like were attacked by so the Paiutes assembled this Avengers level of Native American tribes
Mhm.
to retaliate and attack and once and for all end this lineage of giants. And they were able to get them into a cave where they thought they were coming from, or where they thought they were held up in. They pushed them back to this cave called Lovelock
Mhm.
Caves, and and the legend that they have in within their tribe is that they pushed the giants back into the cave and filled the cave's mouth with like brush and wood and all this shit,
Whatever
and
they
lit it
could
on
to
whatever
block
they
the
could to
entrance.
block it in, and they lit it on fire and basically suffocated the giants and killed them.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
Fast forward hundreds of years later, right? The cave is being mined for guano.
Oh,
Guano. Yeah.
I've heard that guano makes good bowls.
Yeah, you got to collect the whole set.
and cups.
And
Collect the whole set.
guano bowls.
I love that movie.
That movie's the best. Ace Ventura. When Nature Calls.
When
That's
Nature
number 2, right?
Calls. Yeah,
When Nature
yeah,
Calls. So anyway, okay, the Paiute people killed the basically the
giants,
red-haired giants. That was just a myth, a lore, right? That was just one of the everyone, all the tribes had their historian, and that's kind of like the legend, right? Whatever, wild claims, because no one had seen a giant since then, so it got lost. It was just a legend. Well, in 1911, miners mining guano,
doing what they do,
picking up the bat dew,
right? Bat dew,
uncovered artifacts like sandals, bowls, different things that was underneath the guano, 3 to 6 feet underneath the guano.
That's a lot of guano.
Right? Yeah. Below that,
that's a lot of bowl.
Below that, they found the mummies, like they're mummified remains of these giants. Like,
so were they mummified because of the guano?
I don't know. I don't know.
Can guano do that to somebody?
But yeah, I have no idea. I have absolutely no clue. So anyway, they started excavating it out, and they found these red-haired giants. Now, like 6 feet to 10 feet tall. There's like 4, I believe it says 4 of them, 4 giants. But what's icing on the cake on this whole thing is that there are scorch marks. The cave ceiling at the entrance is black still from a fire.
So there is proof that there was a fire in this cave.
Supposedly. At the mouth of the cave. Yeah.
And they found these red-haired giants.
Yes.
Supposedly.
So, and this is where the story goes kind of crazy, right?
Oh, wait, that's not even it.
That's not even the crazy part. That's not even the freaking crazy part, right? No one knows where those bodies went. The miners saw the bodies.
Did they all get killed?
No, they're still there. Well, the people obviously lived a full life in 1911. I'm pretty sure they're all dead.
Well, I meant like that they didn't happen to like, somehow have a horse and buggy accident off a mountain.
Listen, the main protagonist in this type of story starts with an S and rhymes with Smithsonian. All right.
You know what? That was actually, I was going to ask you that too. if the bodies were there.
Dude, they are the legends that hide the legends. Are they
kind of like the Vatican?
Yeah, they are right on par with the Vatican. They are right on par with the Vatican.
It's like Vatican,
Smithsonian. Like, they're just, we don't need this right now, so we'll just lose it. And that's the shit. But they still have one of the sandals. I believe it's in a museum that you can see, right? Because it was part of like Native American culture display. And this sandal is like way too big, way too big to be any normal human being's sandal, right?
Man, I mean, okay, so I just have this picture in my head of this tribe of men going to war with these giants, like somehow getting these giants into this cave. Okay, Now, how big was the mouth of the cave?
It's not that. I mean, it's
Because
actually,
it's weird to me. Like, okay, so you got 10 feet tall guys. The mouth of the cave is 6 feet. So they're like shoving these guys into this cave. You know,
Yeah,
like that means they actually have to like get down. Like they were really beating the shit out of these guys. But in my head, I'm like, I'm picturing this thing going on. That had to be
let
pretty
me see.
intense. You know,
Yeah,
nothing like we've
that's
ever seen before. And
no, that's
these are
terrifying.
men fighting these giant men with sticks and rocks and spears, and
Let me see if I
whatever
can find a
other.
picture. The picture's really not that good. Let me see if I can. Yeah. All right. Let me see if I can pull something up because it's needed. It's needed in this case.
Mhm.
Hold on. Hold on. Give me a sec. My computer gets kind of laggy when I push buttons. Hold on. Lock caves. Cave. Cave with a V, not a C. All right. There we go. So, all right. Here we go. Here we go. Let's see if you can pull it. I want to see if I can pull it up. Hold
Cannibals.
on. Yeah, they're cannibalistic. 100%. Share screen. I want to add source. No, I want to just share screen. Share screen. There we go. There we go. There we go. So, check that. That's the mouth of the cave. I know there's really no reference point on it,
Mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm.
But let me scroll down
Can
to
I make this?
let me see if I can
Ooh.
let me see if I can scroll back up. It's not insanely big. It's not like this like
I'm just trying
Luray
to
Caverns big.
get them.
You know, this man holding
Okay,
his
so that's
son.
a normal sized man. What is he? Almost. Is he almost 6 foot 5'10",
I
something like that?
I
I'm
would I
guessing
would say that.
5'8".
I would say that 100%.
What's
Yep.
average height? You know?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I,
he's there. Now think of a 10 foot tall man. Man, they had to really like beat the crap
he's
out of
he's
these
up
guys to get
here.
him to get into this cave. Yeah,
Yeah. A
he's
10-foot
probably up
tall guy is going to be
higher
up
than that.
here.
He's definitely like
Yeah.
bending down to like get there, get in there.
And let me
That's
see if I
crazy,
can
man.
zoom.
That's
Let me see if I
amazing.
can zoom in.
Really is.
So like when you get to this little mound, right? When you get to this little mound, you look up
So is it
all
going
this
down?
area. Yeah, it's going down, right? All this area up here is just jet black. All
Wow,
this
really?
is just jet.
From
Yeah,
from
it's
the
just jet
fire.
black.
That's what they're saying
Yeah,
is proof of the fire.
yeah, yeah. And no one would have a fire. I mean, I guess you could. I guess over a couple years, like
Hmm.
create that kind of charring, but or not charring, but
But
that blackening of the ceiling. But like
uh-huh.
it would be splotches. It would. No one would have a fire right there. No one would
It
have a fire
it
just
was
like
proof
that.
of a not just a it was proof of a fire, but not just a like a fire. It was proof of like a big,
A
massive
big
fire
fire.
that's engulfing the whole like everything that's right there.
Yeah.
Because like
And
the
so
whole top of the cave is black.
I mean, and think about the ingenuity of that. Of that. Think about that. That's like an absolute genius way to suffocate people in the cave. You, you put a fire in the mouth of the cave. Guess what the fire does? It sucks oxygen out of the cave to keep the fire alive.
Right.
I mean, like that's next level. That's a next level strategy too. You know, like
Yeah.
okay, we're just gonna
Yeah.
suffocate them. Like, how did you come up with that?
Okay,
That's
so it's one of those things too, like from back then, uh man was pretty scared of fire,
yeah,
right? Right. I mean,
yeah. But to know
so
that,
they
like,
see the fire, they can't get through it, and then again with the smoke and the lack of oxygen, they pass out and die.
yeah, carbon monoxide poisoning. But
That's
like
crazy,
to
man.
think about, I think about that, man. That's nuts to think that that would work. Instead of actually going into the caves and actually hunting these things, these people, like, no, they're like, we're just going to build a big fire. We'll keep them at bay with arrows or whatever, right? And you suffocate them. Like that's
nuts.
a
No, I
crazy
mean
train of thought.
that's smart. That's
Yeah,
smart thinking on their part.
and
It amazes me because they knew to do that.
yeah, they knew that would work. That means they must have scoped this out, knowing that this cave had no exits.
Well, that and they knew that the fire would kill these things, not
Yeah,
by burning them alive, but by suffocating them with the smoke and the lack of oxygen. Like you
and
said, what does fire need to stay alive? Oxygen.
and
That's what
I
happens,
was and I was thinking about this the other day too, because this oh my god, I want to, oh no, what are the people that do the cliff dwellings in the desert? What are they? Who are they? Not the Navajo. What are, oh man, hold on. I know it because
Mhm.
it's like one of the UNESCO sites. I think it's in,
Mhm.
is it Nevada or Arizona?
Probably.
I have to. I,
I want to say Nevada. It's probably Arizona.
hold on. Cliff dwellings. It's in New Mexico. Um, what were they? The Anasazi, Anasazi, and Paiute. So guess what? So guess what? You know, you've seen those cliff dwellings, right? You've seen pictures of those.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think, now hear me out on this crazy theory, the reason they lived
Mm-hmm.
in the cliffs high up were these giants that hunted them?
To stay away from. Yeah.
The giant,
No, that's. I mean, that's. Dude, look, look at the Ewoks. They lived in the trees.
the
Why? Because
trees,
the trees. It's safe. It keeps them safe. Why else would you want to,
because
stay off the ground?
some of their cliff dwellings, you look at them and you're like, why? Why would you live up there? Like, it's impossible. It's precarious as shit to get up there. And they're usually like little mud huts with little like rocks with insane amounts of detail, but in the cliffs. And they made sure that that shit blended in with the cliffs, like hard to see spots, And I'm like, what is it? Looks like deer blinds, like a deer blind, like a camouflage deer blind to me. I'm like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
what if it, like, I'm pretty positive it's these giants at least had a part in making them build up in the cliffs. If this is true, obviously, you know what I mean? Like, but that would add
That's. I
another
mean, but that's
reason
smart. You
why
know
to
what I
go
mean?
up.
Mm-hmm.
Because why else would you do that? I mean, you could say, but see, I feel like a lot of the First Nation tribes were nomadic, right? So they
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't seek cliff dwellings. That'd be the last thing on their list. Their thing was following the game. Follow the game wherever it goes. Migrate with your prey, but not the Paiute Indians. They went up into the
But
cliffs to
but not
create
but not
dwellings.
all tribes. Besides the Pi, I don't think all tribes did that either.
No, no, it's just
You know.
Anasazi and Paiute, the Paiute Indians, Native Americans.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm reading an article on my phone, so it says Indians, so whatever. But yeah, no, I was just thinking like that's just that makes sense to me. If you think
Mm-hmm.
if you say, okay, there were giants that were cannibalistic, okay, and they hunted other Native Americans, right? Then you would have a reason to build in the cliffs, unless and the only other reason is that there were warring faction of Native Americans, and that's very possible too. That the higher the ground, the high ground wins the battle. That makes sense. But I feel
Well, I
like,
mean that's always what they tell you, and that's something the military still uses today.
yeah, high
The high
ground
ground wins the
wins
battle.
all the time.
That's it.
You know, but I feel like this must have had a hand, if anything, a tiny hand beginning of this.
Mhm.
The reason why they went high, because it looks like
It's
it
safe.
looks
It's
like they
safer.
but in order to build one of those, it couldn't have been quick and build, you know? It couldn't have been just, okay, here we are, throw some rocks up. Like, no, these are intricate, detailed, effing mortared like buildings, right? In the cliffs. That doesn't happen
Mhm.
in a time of war when warring parties are all over you. You can't just be on the cliffs. You're like, okay, there he is. Let's just send some arrows that way and take him out. This is like
No,
takes time.
I no, but I no, yeah, it took time, but I do believe that that was part of why they did that. It was for safety. It was for survival. You know, that's what they did.
Yeah.
You know, and it may also it could have been something where they were staying at that time. Could be that they're you know, in the desert sometimes they have flash floods. It
Yeah.
rains all of a sudden, and next thing you know, it's it's a river, a raging river that goes through there, which is to
Like,
me still it amazes me. It always
yeah.
gets me like it's just oh, this is just a desert. There's nothing here, and then you know, a
Rain.
day it rains, and it's just like an ocean just flowing through there with you know
Now,
everything.
but I feel like in order to invest that much time and that much
Mhm.
labor into
Yeah.
building something that'll last hundreds of years still. I followed this guy that explores like the desert for YouTube. Like that's what he does.
Yeah.
He just goes out there and hikes, and he finds all of these little old Paiute like cliff dwelling places that haven't really been touched, right?
Mhm.
And I'm like, there has to be a reason where the ground was deemed unsafe because they could have just built that kind of structure on the ground, you know?
Mhm.
So something drove them up, whether natural elements, whether warring factions of other tribes, or was it something bigger than them that they all were terrified of? Because it's not like one
You know what
region
though
has
too.
them on the ground.
Uh huh. You know what also could have been too is warring factions, but again, the high ground you can see your opponent coming. You can see the enemy coming from a greater distance. You have that advantage. Hey, they're coming. Let's go. You
Yep.
know.
Yeah.
So I'm sure
Yeah.
there was quite a few things, a few factors into them building the houses the way they did. But these giants, man, I'm that's killer, man. I'm that's
Wouldn't that be
interesting.
wild?
That is
Wouldn't that be
interesting.
wild to think about like 200-300 years ago, maybe 400 years ago, that giants were a thing. Red hair giants were a thing in the Southwest. Like just and it wasn't a lot. These were just they just found a couple skeletons. They just found a couple like what like 3 or 4 skeletons in the cave. But
Hmm.
I bet you there were more. I bet you it wasn't like I bet you it ended up being just 3 or 4 left. That the tribes rallied and fought them and killed them and pushed them back to this because they were on a
That's
wipeout
interesting.
mission. They were on a wipeout mission,
How
like kill the gene.
uh-huh. Right, yeah, to stop them at all costs. How far does that cave go? You know what I mean?
I
Like how
have no
deep is that
idea.
cave?
I have no
Because
idea.
I'm
I
wondering,
mean,
like, how many did they fit in there? You know, did some of them like go in there and maybe survive, but ended up dying in there further, like deeper in the
I
cave? Dude,
I
you
feel
know how
like because they
scary that is?
are big.
Even as a giant, that to me that still seems a scary way to die. Like
Oh
it's
fuck yeah,
fire, you can't get out, and you're just in there and you just end up dying in this cave, and God only knows what's in there because it's pitch black in there.
yeah. No, 100 love lock cave.
And
Here we
has anyone
go.
gone exploring in there?
Yeah, it's a half mile. Oh no, hold on, no. Hold on, stand by. 160 feet.
That's not that far.
160 feet. Nope.
It's
Nope.
not that far.
Depth
It's not a
is
real-
40 feet. Yeah. And there's just
That's
only
nothing.
one way in. Yep. So very, very feasible. Very feasible to have that happen. So that's a 160 feet is like what, 2 average house lengths? I don't know. Something like that. No, maybe more.
Yeah, something like that.
Maybe more, something like that.
Something
But
like that.
it's not that far. It's definitely not the longest cave system in the world. Like it's
Mhm.
just a tiny bump out. But remember, they're only going to be
Yeah.
limited. They're only going to be limited to how far in the cave they could retreat to because they are so big. So
Right. That's what I'm saying.
that's
That's what I'm thinking. How deep is that cave? And at some point, it's either going to get bigger or it's just going to drop and shrink down to its
and
size. You can, they're only going to be able to go so far.
and my thing is, did the Native Americans bury them after they were found dead, or did they just leave them there and let
I
lie?
think they just left them because from what you made it sound
They were
like,
under a
they were
bunch of bat shit.
yeah. So they just left them there. They probably went in there to see if they were dead and then just kind of, kicked them a little bit and
Yeah, made sure they
said,
were dead.
fuck them, and then left them there.
Yeah, yeah. But that's man. So anyway, I found that out. I thought that was interesting.
Mhm.
Like that's just something completely foreign to what I was
Mhm.
thinking I was gonna find on the internet.
But is it
But
interesting enough for the people to ask for more?
who knows? Who knows? Because
We'll
honestly,
find out.
I think
We're gonna
this
find
is the
out.
perfect place to leave this because there literally is no more. There is no
That's
more.
it. There's no more. So if you are
Story,
interested and want to know more, too fucking bad.
you
This
know
is it.
more. This is the story ends at the depth of their cave. Like it's not a long, expansive
What
story. Where
what
the rest of
happened?
the
Is it?
bones, who knows?
Yeah,
But
they're all
you
gone.
hear these mysteries of these bones being found all over, like in random spots, like these larger than life, like human bones, and you're like, dude, and they get shipped, they get mishandled, they get lost, and I'm like,
Supposedly.
come
Okay.
on, dude.
We
Freaking
don't know. It's
the Smithsonian
supposedly.
was like the pre Area 51 for the Wild West. It was like the Wild West's
Yeah.
Area 51 was the Smithsonian.
They would send people out there to go look at it and say, oh, whatever, we'll take care of it. Next thing you know, we don't know where it
It's
is. It
gone.
got
What are you
lost in
talking about?
transit. Right. And they have like some secret building somewhere else.
Yeah,
That
yeah, 100%. But anyway, guys, I mean, I'm pretty positive you guys can look this up. But I stumbled upon this and I was like, this is wild. This is nuts. And because there were multiple tribes that went after these giants, there's multiple stories. Like there's multiple, like they share the same. They've retained the same lore and legend. So it's like, okay, one Native American tribe making this up could be 3 negative. You can't have 3 different tribes that have grown different and spread in different areas share the
yeah.
same common lore. Like
No,
that's
no,
unheard
but
of.
it is interesting. Were there other? I'm just we don't have to answer right now.
Yeah. Did
We're
we get
giving
them
people
all?
what they
Did they get
want.
them all?
Well,
I don't know.
exactly. Was there more? But was there more? That is the question
Or is
to
that the
be
beginning
determined.
of Sasquatch? Is that what we're talking about now? You know what I mean?
So, interesting. So did a giant fuck some kind of weird ape creature,
What if
and
they
that's what?
were? What if these are like patient zero of Sasquatch?
So these giant men, they would go around and eat these other smaller men, uh,
Ran to the
like in the
woods.
picture of the no, but yeah, but like it's that picture of like of man from like a Neanderthal, then like shows Steve Jobs walking or some
Yeah.
shit like that.
Yeah.
Instead of that, it's like a giant man that turns into fucking Bigfoot.
Yeah. I wouldn't put it past it. I would be like, if you want to make that leap,
It's
I wouldn't knock it yet. You know, I wouldn't knock it yet.
All right.
Okay, I wouldn't just knock
Good
it, but
stuff.
yeah, man, this was a good one for sure.
No, it's good. Hey, so if you guys liked it, you enjoyed this, don't forget, hit that like button. Please smash the subscribe button. It's all we're asking you.
Yes,
Leave a comment. Tell us anything. You know,
anything.
does anybody know
What you
any
guys have for
giant,
lunch?
any red-haired giants?
Oh, that's true
What's for
too.
dinner?
Yeah. What's for dinner? What are you guys
Which,
reading right now?
yeah, because I don't know what's for dinner because I haven't had dinner yet, and I'm
Oh my
so hungry.
god. My god.
Yeah,
Well, dude,
yeah, I got to go out and find my own food.
you gotta open the tent and
You
go
know,
hunt possibly some guinea pigs. I hear they're delicious.
trekking around it in my good old tent. You know, it's rough out here, but somebody's got to do
Yep.
it. That's how I bring these stories to
Yep.
everybody. Anyway,
Boots on the
hey, thanks again,
ground.
Daniel, for
Yeah,
boots
man.
on the ground. Yeah,
Yep.
and hamsters in my belly. So thanks, Daniel, for hanging out with me.
No
That was a
problem.
very interesting story. A lot of questions still, a lot of questions. Wondering if there's any
Oh,
more. What are the offspring? What is their
what?
lineage of the red-haired giants?
Yeah. There's only questions here. The day that we solve
Cool.
a problem is the day we shut the lights off.
I think that's
Yep.
the time when we unplug.
Yeah.
It
And
won't be
run
unplug nation.
and
It'll just be
and run.
unplug this, the computer and
Unplug
get the
it.
fuck
Yep.
out of here.
Shut it
Yeah.
down.
Anyway, hey, thanks again. Remember, guys, smash the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment, blah, blah, blah. Do all that great stuff. Thanks again. Till next time, everybody. Peace.